You're gonna be ugly when you grow up. And everything in your house is cheap. And it smells in here.
Number 20. Guess what? Meg Griffin is an easy target given how much the family picks on her, but she also makes it even easier by setting them up for jokes. When she arrives with the news that she's made the flag squad, Meg invites them to guess what she is.
End result of a drunken backseat grope fest and a broken prophylactic?
Stewie's suggestion that her existence is due to a broken piece of rubber may go unnoticed by the family, but it has us wincing at its savagery. His follow-up burn about Meg's luck with boys may not quite reach the heights or depths of his first insult, but at least Brian appreciates it.
You can be somewhere else when the boys don't call.
Number 19. Funny waiter. In typical Family Guy fashion, Chris going to space camp somehow ends up with the entire Griffin family getting launched into space.
Stewie, hold my hand.
No, thank you. I prefer to die giving you the finger.
As Peter reveals what he'll miss about life on Earth, Stewie shares what he won't miss. Waiters who try to be funny. A cutaway gag shows Stewie ordering a salad with no onions, which the waiter agreeably makes a corny joke about. Stewie replies with a threat to the man's livelihood in the event he gives him onions.
I've got a few connections in the back. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, that's funny. If there's one onion on that salad, you can forget the $1.80 tip you need to live.
We understand Stewie's sentiment, but his remarks might make the waiter inclined to replace those onions with saliva.
Tell him bon appetit, douchebag.
Number 18. Hot dog. Peter being a moron isn't new to anyone, but in this episode he's found to have an intellectual disability, although they use some slightly more outdated language to discuss it in the show.
Well, here they are, Brian, my test results. Read them and weep.
And after he pours hot grease all over Lois, Child Protective Service takes the Griffin children away to live with Cleveland. Rather than show he's a fit parent like Brian suggests, Peter hatches a scheme to show that Cleveland is unfit by bringing 7 sex workers to Cleveland's house. Although Cleveland and Child Services object, the latter more than the former, Stewie's jab at one of the older ladies of the night is downright vicious.
So, tell me, is there any tread left on the tires at all? Or at this point, would it be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway?
Number 17. Rupert's nicknames. After Brian tears up Stewie's teddy bear Rupert, Stewie resolves to scatter his stuffed friend's ashes from a mountaintop.
If he died first, I would scatter his ashes on a mountain.
Brian tags along to watch out for him, and an argument ensues, leading to Stewie falling and being unable to walk. Brian builds Stewie a stretcher and carries him the rest of the way, despite Stewie hurling insults at him the entire time. Some of these include nicknames that Rupert had for Brian, usually a play on famous dogs.
Want to know some of the other things he called you? Fat Lassie, Scooby Don't, Rin Tin Twink, Poopy Snoopy.
To throw some of our own into the ring, Wish-Stoned Old Smeller, Air Dud, Booze Clues, and Marley and Anyone But Me. Number 16. Gavin. Stewie doesn't have many friends his own age, and if this interaction is any indication, it's pretty clear why. Brian goes to pick Stewie up at a playdate, and we see Stewie simply sitting with the other boy, Gavin. By all indications, Stewie has spent the entire time insulting everything about the kid, from his name to his house.
You're gonna be ugly when you grow up, and everything in your house is cheap. And it smells in here.
And yet, despite that apparent animosity, Stewie seems to have enjoyed his playdate.
That was fun. I like Gavin.
Then again, if this whole list is any indication, Stewie's favorite pastime seems to be lambasting everyone around him. So maybe it's not so strange. Number 15. Game over. When Brian's cousin Jasper comes to visit, the family goes to dinner with him and his partner Ricardo. During the meal, Stewie repeatedly expresses derision for Jasper's stereotypical mannerisms, although Jasper doesn't seem to mind, even dancing to the beat of Stewie's mock club noises.
Oh, why'd you stop?
But his most cutting remark is reserved for Meg again. Jasper announces that he and Ricardo are getting married. This prompts Stewie to remark on Meg's poor chances with men, which he sees as basically zero now that men can marry each other.
I mean, if they can do that, that's pretty much it for you, isn't it? I mean, you might as well pack it in. Game over.
In the immortal words of Bill Paxton,
Game over, man. It's game over.
Number 14. A Little Old. Stewie and Brian's road trip episodes are a frequent highlight of the series, and the very first offers an excellent insult from the former.
Let's hope Osama bin Laden doesn't know show tunes.
After staying with his grandparents at their summer home in California, Stewie gets picked up by Brian. At the airport, Brian leaves to get smashed at the bar, leaving Stewie alone.
Wait here at the gate. I gotta run a quick errand.
Stewie is approached by a man who's concerned that he's too young to be traveling alone. But Stewie rebukes him with a comment about the man's choice in mouthwear.
Aren't you a little old to be wearing braces?
Don't talk to strangers, kids. And adults, don't talk to Stewie. Number 13. Cake. Stewie is a talented singer and performer, as evidenced by the numerous musical numbers he's been a part of.
We're off on the road to Rhode Island.
However, his first theatrical performance in preschool is something of a disaster, and not just because of its subject matter. If you don't know who Terry Schiavo was, look her up.
Hi, Doctor. It's me, Michael Schiavo. How's my wife doing? She's a vegetable.
When it's Stewie's turn to go on stage, he gets stage fright and bursts into tears. It's clearly a traumatic experience for him, yet Brian is a jerk about it afterwards. Stewie's promise to celebrate Brian's death is as morbid as it is lethal.
You know what? I'm gonna buy a cake when you're dead.
Number 12. Hatless. When Stewie gets a new babysitter, LaDawn, he's instantly smitten. However, he's outraged when she comes over with her boyfriend, Jeremy. When LaDawn decides to put him to bed, Stewie steals Jeremy's hat and proceeds to go on an extended rant on the frat boys that Jeremy reminds him of.
Take that, Hatless! Now go back to the quad and resume your hacky sack tourney! I'm not gonna lie down for some frat boy bastard with his damn Teva sandals!
The rant references everything from Teva sandals to Taco Bell to the Simpsons song Mr. Plow. The tirade is so rapid fire and entertaining that we're won over, even if LaDawn isn't.
That is exactly the kind of idiot you see at Taco Bell at 1 in the morning.
Plus, it's almost as deadly as what Stewie ends up doing to Jeremy. Almost.
Oh my God, Jeremy's still in the trunk. Oh God, how long's it been? Let's see, two weeks. Yep. Yeah, he's dead.
Number 11. Seth Green. In this very special episode, Peter retells the story of Return of the Jedi.
I mean, the work is much harder when you know the project is no good. Still, all those small paychecks must add up.
This version has Stewie playing Darth Vader, Chris as Luke, and their Grandpa Carter as the Emperor. The Emperor taunts Chris Skywalker by bringing up his voice actor, Seth Green, deriding his movie career to unleash his inner hatred.
Do you ever hear anyone say, hey, let's go see that new Austin Powers, Seth Green's in it?
You're not getting to me, man. You're talking about an actor who I happen to enjoy.
Later, during Chris's duel with Stewie Vader, Stewie brings up Green again. He also ridicules Green's career, particularly his supposedly low standards for projects, like the film Sex Drive.
I can always get Seth Green to fight me. He'll do anything for money. I mean, did you see Sex Drive? Oh, of course you didn't. You're a person.
Well, to be fair, when was the last time you thought about that one? Number 10. Fashion advice.
Brian's birthday, besides consisting of some incredibly bizarre gifts, also leaves the dog thinking about his own mortality and his legacy.
Nothing, it's just that, I don't know, my birthday is just, it's kind of a reminder that I'm now 1 year closer to death, with nothing to show for my time here. Can I get a minion cake for my next birthday?
We'll see, Peter.
To help out his friend, Stewie offers to help him write his biography, citing his previous experience helping Cleveland with his wardrobe as proof of his qualification.
Maybe I can lend you a hand, Brian. I'll help you write your biography.
Really? You do that?
Yes. After all, I helped Cleveland with his wardrobe.
A cutaway reveals that Stewie makes a remark to the Griffin family friend about the skinny jeans he's wearing not being for him, despite Stewie's love for him. This is soon followed up by Stewie's immediately shooting down their neighbor Joe's attempt to pull off a vest with no shirt.
Hey, Cleveland, you know I love you, but those jeans, they ain't for you.
I knew it. I think I just needed to hear it. Thank you, Peter's baby.
Copy that.
Can we really believe Stewie's a fashion expert? He wears one outfit all the time.
Number 9. Lies.
An attempt by Lois to wean Stewie off breast milk naturally leads to disastrous results. Stewie finds milk from a bottle disgusting compared to the real thing.
Time for dinner, sweetie.
Very well, then take off your shirt.
No, honey, no. Tonight we're gonna have formula instead.
Ugh, that's more disgusting than when Peter went through that Daisy Dukes phase.
He gets so desperate that while at the park, he uses a swing to launch himself at a breastfeeding woman, knocking her child out of the way to take their place. Although Stewie is quickly pulled off her, he throws a parting insult at the woman, telling her that her breast implants are not boobs at all. They're lies.
By the way, you call those cheap implants boobs? Those aren't boobs. They're lies.
When an infant can tell the difference, you know you haven't gotten your money's worth.
Number 8. Accept it.
A trip to Canada for Peter and the boys leads to a plane crash after Peter's antics go too far.
Oh my God, Joe, there's a man on the wing!
Peter, there's no man on the wing.
There is, I saw him!
Peter, stop being ridiculous.
I'm telling you, lift up the shade, there's a man on the wing!
Fine.
It's me. I'm the man on the wing.
Peter, how the hell did you get out there? Are you crazy? Get back in here, Peter!
After being separated from Quagmire and Joe, Peter must survive in the wild for months, leading to him becoming feral and wild.
Oh, yes, that's the television. Kids, I think he recognizes the TV.
We're all thinking it, and he just does it.
After returning home, Peter goes through the family's garbage bins like a raccoon, and Lois chases him away from them, only to wonder aloud who threw her sequin top in the trash. Stewie then shouts from off-screen that she should accept that she's 43 years old, with the obvious implication being that she can no longer pull off dressing like a younger woman.
Who threw out my sequin top?
You're 43. Accept it.
Number 7. You Albino Gorilla.
Stewie's older brother Chris isn't exactly the sharpest bulb in the box, with only Peter on a bad day coming close to his level of dopiness.
Well, look who it is. Chris Griffin.
Oh boy.
Hey, fat ass. Your boobs are bigger than your sister's.
Oh yeah? Well, you have a sister as well.
So when Chris finds himself outwitted by some jerks, Stewie takes an interest. The baby offers to teach Chris how to deliver better insults.
Hey, Chris. I wanted to talk about what happened at school. Is that a dead gerbil in there?
That's a fur fish. It's a weird species. You put them in there and they swim like hell for like 30 seconds and then they go to sleep.
Even so, Chris's hypothetical jab at Stewie prompts a lightning-fast barb in response, in which Stewie calls Chris an albino gorilla and tells him to have another donut.
You really have got to stand up for yourself.
Stewie, it's not so easy. What would you say if I said, "Hey there, shorty"?
I'd say have another donut, you albino gorilla.
Even when it's conjectural, Stewie doesn't hold anything back.
Number 6. How to eat healthy.
And this year's James Woods High Homecoming King is Chris Griffin.
Yay! Yay!
Holy crap!
I don't believe it. Chris won!
Far from the most popular kid at school, Chris somehow manages to become homecoming king. However, unbeknownst to him, his victory was only because his classmates voted for him out of pity or for a laugh.
I just see him walking around with his hands down his pants all day, and he's just so fat and weird, so we feel bad.
Despite Stewie and Brian trying to keep it a secret to spare Chris's feelings, his arrogant attitude gets on their nerves immediately.
After Chris declares he'll be taking things from Stewie's room, Stewie calls out that there's a book on how to eat healthy that he can take, while also calling him a harsh word.
It's a burn with a side of concern. A concern burn, if you will.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I shall select 3 things from Stewie's room that I wish to be mine.
There's a book in there on how to eat healthy.
Number 5. White Trash Hen.
Everyone's the hero of their own story. At least they should be. A short entitled Point of Stew follows a day in the life of Stewie, with the camera acting as his point of view. And right from the moment he wakes up, the baby is delivering burns. When his mother changes his diaper and finds a dime, Stewie responds to her scolding by telling her to wipe it off and put it in her purse like the white trash hen she is. He then follows this up by pulling her hair and whispering that when he grows up, he will never visit her and that she'll be nothing to him. Real, but dark.
Your roots are ridiculous. I'm gonna grab your hair because I like grabbing stuff.
Okay, Stewie, let go. Let go, Stewie. Let go of Mommy's hair.
When I grow up, I'm never gonna call you. I'm gonna be busy with my job and my family. You'll be nothing.
Number 4. McConaughey.
Family Guy has not been kind to actor Matthew McConaughey, and his cutaway gag of Stewie insulting him is especially cutting and funny.
A lot of effort for nothing. Like trying to tell Matthew McConaughey how much he sucks.
Stewie repeatedly insults and berates McConaughey for being a terrible actor.
You know, Matthew, I may not ever get another chance to say this, so I just want to get this off my chest.
You are just awful. You're one of the worst actors in the history of film.
While Stewie's barbs that the actor is just the worst, and his wish that McConaughey would get a heart attack are hilarious. Even funnier is the fact that McConaughey's famously chill demeanor remains throughout, and even he agrees with Stewie that his movies are terrible.
After that, everything else was awful. Contact, they didn't even need you in that movie. They could have done the whole movie without you.
I know, I said the same thing, but they were just like, oh, we need a good-looking guy with a great ass and some tight abs to just provide some down-home enthusiasm in this picture.
The kicker is that Stewie's last and most outlandish claim causes McConaughey to assert that nobody can prove it. We certainly wouldn't want any video evidence.
Truth of the matter is, I don't like my movies either, but man, they just keep offering me money and I do it, and then I get to go around the world. I mean, did you see Sahara? But I'll tell you what that movie gave me was an opportunity to take an Airstream all across the country and sell that picture one person at a time.
You suck donkey ass.
Now, you can't prove that.
Number 3, Felix Ungarish.
From the moment you gave birth to me, I had to trust you. I had no choice. I needed you to protect me from the world, to be my guide, to help me navigate the difficult, confusing, and vulnerable journey to becoming a person. You have done none of those things.
The biggest target of ridicule on the show is easily the eldest Griffin child, Meg, and Stewie does not abstain from the tidal wave of mockery delivered at his sister.
As previously mentioned in the entry referencing this same episode, Peter is revealed to have an intellectual disability, which Meg worries will ruin her prospects for popularity at school.
I can't believe this is happening to me. I can never go back to school again.
However, Stewie shoots this down as a possibility, sarcastically citing her numerous failings, including comparing the way she clears her sinuses to Felix Unger from The Odd Couple.
He rounds it out by claiming he might kill her later.
Oh, yes, Meg, yes, everything was going swimmingly for you until this. Yes, this is the thing that will ruin your reputation. Not your years of grotesque appearance or awkward social graces, or that Felix Ungarish way you clear your sinuses. No, it's this. Do you hear yourself talk? I might kill you tonight.
Sarcasm and death threats. Quite the summation of Stewie's character, no?
Number 2, Brian's novel.
This is easily one of the most famous Stewie insults, and it's not hard to see why.
Brian, I can't believe you're going to be on The Bachelorette.
Yeah, I thought you said those shows were stupid.
They are stupid. But I figure I got a few days of free booze and free food before they kick me off. I could use a vacation.
During an episode where Brian appears on TV show The Bachelor, Stewie asks him several questions about a novel Brian has been working on for years, sarcastically prodding him about his lack of progress, while breaking down the structure of most stories as his voice gets higher and higher over time.
Oh, yes, because you've got such a heavy workload around here.
How you coming on that novel you're working on? Huh? Got a big stack of papers there. Got a nice little story you're working on there. A big novel you've been working on for 3 years.
Although the gag does run a bit long, this undeniably helps it be so memorable, and we would argue helps make it funnier.
Nice little narrative, beginning, middle, and end. Some friends become enemies. Some enemies become friends. Yeah. At the end, your main character is richer for the experience. Yeah. Yeah, you got to... No, you deserve some time off.
Number 1, Like a Knife.
Close your purse, I can see your tampons. And why do you need 6? What happens to you?
Stewie's insults about Brian's creative efforts are some of the show's best, and this is one of the funniest and the most cutting. After Brian writes a play that proves a local hit, the success naturally goes to his head.
The American play was dying. Have we brought it back to life here? I can't say that, but it has a pulse.
You're such an amazing writer, Brian. How do you do it? What's your process?
Oh, God, Allison, how do I even answer that? What's a rainbow's process?
However, when Stewie asks him to read his own play, Brian is dismayed to learn that it's much better than his.
After going so far as to bury the play in the backyard, Stewie confronts him, lambasting Brian and his play for being mediocre and full of tired cliches and bad jokes.
I knew my play was good, just like I knew your play was a mediocre patchwork of hackneyed ideas and tired cliches. You have no idea how hard it was to sit in that theater with all those braying hyenas. Couldn't you tell something was up when Chris and the fat man could follow the plot? I mean, it took Peter a year to figure out Stuart Little.
He then drives it home by suggesting that every person who laughs at Brian's terrible play should pierce his heart like a knife. Ouch.
Your play panders to the lowest common denominator, Brian, and it doesn't even do that well.
Shut up!
May every person that laughs at your sophomoric effort be a reminder of your eternal mediocrity and pierce your heart like a knife.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.